Welcome into the PHNX Coyotes post-game show brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah Merrill here with Steve Peters, and the Coyotes have won their 13th game of the season tonight, 3-1 over the Dallas Stars. Never thought it could be done. And
should it be done though?
I know, right?
And this, before the game started, we were looking at the scoreboard, and the Montreal Canadiens win in a shootout, and you go, "Oh my goodness, this is their chance. They're going to get within one," and they put together 40 good minutes of hockey again, and this is almost the same as last night, where they put together a good game, and you go, "Oh my goodness, they're gonna." I tell you my notes. I'm going to tell you right now what my notes were after two. My notes after two were they're going to win by outshooting a team for the 7th time this season. They've done better defending than they have in a month. They didn't need the goalie to be their best player, and was a better all-around team effort. Threw that away because that was absolutely not true, because they did it again. It's unbelievable. And I know they won. Let's preface it by saying that. They won. They got 2 points. But good grief, could they just not do that to us? Like for 20 minutes, could they just not?
I know that game was a roller coaster, and it was one of those where we've seen them collapse in the third. Like the whole game, I was like, "Don't worry, like they'll collapse." And that third, I mean, it felt like that it could have happened, because holy shit, what an offensive battle by Dallas. I mean, Robertson missing that wide open net, that was make or break. If Dallas scores that goal, I think this is a totally different ending to this game. But
how many in the third? I mean, honestly, there was Pavelski, there was Robertson twice, Radulov missed, and clearly the Robertson one off the post was the huge one. But they dominated that third period, like it wasn't even close.
No.
And that first 2 minutes, I don't know if the Coyotes touched the puck, and you're like, "Whoa, fellas! Like this first 2 periods were going great. What the hell happened?" It's again, they won. Yay.
This comment, PD, disappointed when we lose, disappointed when we win. That just sounds like PD's attitude about everything. The glass is always half empty.
I'm not trying to be, but things were going so well for this team. They're possessing the puck offensively. They're defending really well. They're protecting their net front. They weren't giving up opportunities through the blue lines. Dallas's rush was non-existent tonight. Like they did so many things right. And they were providing offense, and good grief, they scored a power play goal. Like they were checking every box. Like, yay, things are going really well. And Wedgewood was good. He was solid through 40. Like he was okay. He made every save he needed.
Wasn't like the difference maker in the first 2 periods,
but he was good.
In the third,
he was really good. Schmaltz was finally skating again, and there were so many things going right through those first 2 periods. And then in the third, I just hope this team finds a way. And you're right. We're talking about the rebuild. You don't want them to hang on, and you want it to go the other way, especially when Montreal wins. But, that was a close one. That was a close one. I tell you what, Wedgewood, after missing 19 days, he was lights out. Wow, was he good tonight.
First game for him since February 1st. And I'm sure he wanted that one. Actually, his last game was the win against Colorado. So Wedgewood's on a little bit of a win streak, if you will. So we'll see what happens. So we'll see what happens this upcoming week. But, I think throughout the season, we've talked about the Coyotes not being able to string together a full 60-minute performance. We've talked about them having a good period here, a good period there. In some instances, a good 10 minutes. So I guess if you want to look at the bright side, that was 40 minutes of the Coyotes being the better team.
And that's good.
The Coyotes outshot Dallas 12-7 in the first. Shots were even in the second. And then, like you said, the third period, yes, it was a Dallas offensive onslaught, but the Coyotes held on and win. And yes, a couple of lucky bounces went their way. But sometimes it just comes down to luck in this game. And I know that this isn't necessarily helping the tank, but this is 13 wins in 50 games. Like, let's just take the win.
No, you're right. And there were so many good things. And let's talk about a few of them. If you go to the end of the first period where they had Fisher, O'Brien, and Roussel attacking the net, they had 3 or 4 opportunities in the last minute. That was outstanding. You had Mosier one-on-one with Sagan. and he had a good stick. Defensively protecting the blue line, outstanding defending by the young defenseman. Boyd has 2 great chances in the first period, one off a Keller pass. There were so many good things in that first period. It was really good to see the team play that well, especially after they stumbled a little bit in the third period last night against LA. And it's less than 24 hours to come back to Gila River and have a start like they did. That was impressive. Like, really good start for this team. And they came out and did it again in the second period. Kraus drives the net, hangs around in front of the net.
Just like literally just like last night. Right,
Same
he's
spot.
right in front of the net, standing there waiting for a great pass, gets it in.
And Schmaltz is skating again. And when he skates, good things happen for him. So hope he can catch fire again.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
you look at their goal, and the only goal they get of the night. What's Wedgewood supposed to do? It bounces off first at Pavelski, then Hintz, and then hits Gostisbehere on the foot, and then had 3 players in front of the net. Like, Wedgewood was absolutely lights out tonight. And if not for that, we won't even say the entire third period. We'll say 12 minutes of the third period where I think the team kind of took their foot off the gas. So maybe it was there it is. In the third race of the night, just starting. Jeez. So, you take 50 minutes, maybe 48 minutes. This team put it together, so it's a step closer. There were a lot of good things, and I know I saw the attendance was announced over 13,000 today. So, good news for this year. Not so good for next year. I don't know where the hell they're going to put all those people, but it was good.
Outside, the weather's great. I'll sit outside and watch a game.
Well, that's a good idea. Lawn chair, big screen. So this Dallas team needs to win too. And you saw their desperation in the third period. You didn't see it throughout. And I think that's kind of the way their season has been going. It's been a roller coaster for these Dallas Stars. This is a big win for the Coyotes. It's a kid yourself. This is a team that's fighting to get in the playoffs. And now can you ride that? You're going to get a day off tomorrow because you played the back-to-back, and then you got to get ready to do it again on Wednesday because they're home for a few more, and you got some tough games coming up.
Yeah. LA is coming. Vegas is coming. So definitely tough games ahead. One negative of that first period was Ladd leaving the game with a lower body injury. The Watts was asking, any idea what Ladd did? I saw the replay. It kind of looked like he just got tangled up with the other player and tweaked something or fell awkwardly. He was helped into the locker room and did not return. The team announced with a lower body injury. So I'm hoping it's nothing too serious. Did you get a good look at the play?
It wasn't a vicious hit. And I think even at the first reaction, the way he started to get up, I go, oh, he might have lost his wind because I think he was surprised by the hit. Wasn't vicious, wasn't dirty. I looked at his legs during the hit. It didn't look like anything. I'm not a doctor. I know, big surprise. But so it didn't look bad. And then he took his first stride and you go, uh-oh. So that's where he felt the pain, and then he limped off with some help, and he did not use his right leg. So let's hope it's not serious. This team can't get injuries right now, especially with the trade deadline looming. And
there's going to be not enough players on the Coyotes or the Roadrunners.
Exactly. And I'm going to correct something I got to do from last night's show because we talk about how many mistakes I make, and thank God we don't do a counter on that.
Is it when you said they would call up Mosier, but he's already
he's been playing. Yeah, not only is he called up, he's been playing. I thought about
that today.
Yeah, well, clearly I'm going through that. What the hell are they talking about? So he is playing. They cannot call him up. He's here and playing every night. So
he's playing so well. They need to call him up again.
Yeah, no. So it's probably, and he talked about, Bill Armstrong talked about it in his interview last night on Bally Sports, and he mentioned Kolya Chonak, and maybe that's a guy to replace a bigger body like Bushkin or Cam Dineen, who's been here a couple times already this season, and maybe he gets to get back in the lineup or back traveling with the squad. We'll find out because they played again tonight down in Tucson, so they'll wait until tomorrow, especially with a day off. So it won't be critical to get them moving until Tuesday.
Yeah, the Coyotes have a couple days off here. Well, back to the positives, because I feel like there were a lot. Sometimes the Coyotes win, and you're like, did they really deserve to win that game? And I do feel like this was one that the Coyotes deserved to win. That Kraus goal, it was his 14th goal of the season, and it was his 100th career point.
That's outstanding. Good
He's
for
just
him.
Having a great season.
And we got a chance to talk to him the other day when the show went to the Dogs last week, and he was just happy for the opportunity to get more ice time and to play more, and it's starting to show and reflect in his plays. He's skating well. He's getting to the net, and he's getting points now. So I think this is a good sign for Lawson Crouse. And let's hope, after all the chips fall after the trade deadline, that number 67 is still in the Coyotes locker room.
Yeah, absolutely. He's become kind of a core piece of this group. So really great to see him have success. Watts said also his 50th career NHL goal. I did see that. So a milestone goal for him, 50th career goal, 100th point. Kind of crazy how that fell into place, but really happy for him. And Keller tonight also, I think that empty net goal was his 20th goal of the season. So there another milestone reached for him.
And we're going to have to go back to our pregame or preseason predictions on how many 20-goal scorers we thought there would be on the team this season. Boy, to have one already?
Yeah, through 50 games. I mean, he's on a pretty
impressive
pace, especially for what this team has, only 13 wins. They've been outscored, outshot tremendously this season. So for Keller to still be having one of his best seasons ever is very impressive.
Yeah, and you talk about there's 120-goal scorer. We just talked about Crouse with his 14th. Is 6 more unreasonable? No, I don't think so. Schmaltz might have to go on a little tear. He's had 9.
Well, the tear might have started tonight with his 3 points.
And how many games has he been out too? So you look at his injuries and his point and goal total per game. Yeah, he definitely has it in him. So we sat there and thought, well, gosh, if this team gets 1, maybe, gosh, who knows? The one you want to start seeing putting the puck in the net is Kessel.
Yeah, I thought about that.
He starts to get hot. I know he's passing the puck well,
especially for his own sake, because he wants to raise his trade stock, and I think he's probably frustrated not seeing the back of the net quite as much. Was that a Tyson Nash? Like, do I need to? I just said back of the net.
I know that's in the. But we are going to do. Okay, we have to do this. We have 32 games left. One night in studio, we'll do a live watch with Tyson Nash bingo card.
Yes.
And back of the net is definitely in there. So we will
back of the net should just be the free space.
Yeah, there'll be free space in the middle because he'll say it all night. But we'll talk to the Discord, we'll talk to the chat, and we'll get what the rest of the squares will be, and we will get Uber, and we'll be responsible, and we'll have a few cocktails.
Tickle the twine.
Tickle the twine's a good one. Losing your bucket, the salad. He's got to make a joke about his nose, so we'll have to talk about that. So maybe we can have. You know what we could do? We could have him
jockstrap.
We could have him do all of them like before the show. He could record them all for us, like and we could have squares, and you could push on the square, and it would say that saying. I bet he'd do that. Oh my
gosh, that's funny.
That's elaborate, but let's do it.
We will for sure do it. Well, we talked about Schmaltz. He scored tonight. That was his 9th of the season, like you said. And I have to say, this was the first time. There have been games, everyone, where we've been so conflicted about King of the Game because we just are like, who deserves it? We've literally pulled it out of a hat. We've literally just said HK and chosen someone at random. And tonight was the first time all season long that we couldn't decide between 2, but for a good reason, for a very good reason. And there are no rules. So here's our first king, Nick Schmaltz, DraftKings King of the Game, 1 goal, 2 assists. So he had a hand in all 3 of tonight's Coyotes goals. Great for him, especially because he had a little bit of a struggle. And I think this one was proven in the third. We might not have considered this in the first 2 periods, but Scott Wedgewood, our second DraftKings King of the Game, 32 saves on 33 shots, 0.97 save percentage. So how about that?
How about 2 kings. And both deserving, which is fantastic. I'm mildly concerned. I'll have to call in the Deef and Lock to see if that crown placement was actually elite.
I thought it was great.
I'm not sure, and I don't know the rules. Can it bleed into the green border? Is that acceptable? The size of the crown? Can it?
Yes, it can. I personally think it can. I've been putting so for those watching or listening, Sean is not here. I'm producing our show right now, so I did place the crown.
You did, and you're pulling double duty today, so it's mildly impressive. So.
I'll leave you alone. I'm just doing my best.
I tell you that one thing on the Dallas Stars side, you look at Robertson, that's a kid that's a better hockey player than I gave him credit for. Like he's a really good hockey player. And he's, you used to think when you think of this team, you think of Sagan and Ben and Radulov. They are no longer the stars of this team. it's 37-year-old Pavelski with Robertson, and Robertson's dynamic player. He might help turn things around there in Dallas in the years to come.
For sure. And we talked about missing that wide open net, but just the fact that he was in that position in any other scenario, that would have been a goal for him. And I have to say, in the second period too, when Dallas scored 57 seconds after the Coyotes goal, it was like deja vu from last night when the Coyotes scored and LA tied it immediately after. And I genuinely, I thought this is too good to be true. And I was texting somebody bet the Coyotes money line tonight. And I was or not the Coyotes, the Stars money line, because they got burned by the Coyotes money line last night. And I said, don't worry, they'll collapse. And they didn't.
No, it was good. So, it's a positive win. They needed this. They've had a couple of tough losses in a row. So it's good. It'll make tomorrow's day off a hell of a lot nicer, getting a win. And you know what? Maybe they propel this into Wednesday, because I think they've now, over the last 2 games, they've played about 5 periods combined between the two instead of 6. So if they find a way to put 3 periods together, I'm curious to see what the status of Richie is, when he's going to join the team.
Yeah, he hasn't reported yet.
No, and this is unusual for other sports leagues, but you got a guy that's playing in Canada. So you've got paperwork and immigration, and you've got issues to get that player across the border. It's not easy. And Lyubushkin going the opposite direction is a Russian playing in America that needs to travel to Canada. It's not easy. And these things, sometimes I've seen it last weeks where you couldn't get a player through Canada, and now with COVID and all these rules. So we'll wait to see when he actually becomes a part of this team, but we'll see if he can give this team a little bit of a physical spark, along with O'Brien, who did provide it tonight. Maybe it's a new element this team needs, and gives some of the players like Keller a little more room out there. So excited to see him. We'll get an update by Wednesday on when he'll actually join this team and join the lineup.
For sure. Well, let's look at your keys, because it's once again rare that the Coyotes accomplish all of them. And I feel like they at least accomplished one that I can remember off the top of my head. And that was broken record, get the power play back on track. And the Coyotes did finally capitalize on the power play tonight. Petey, why don't you go through the other keys?
The defending the rush, this is a Dallas team that's good through the neutral zone and gets a lot of chances from their defensemen, Heiskanen, Klingberg, and it didn't happen at all tonight. And this Coyote team has been susceptible off the rush, giving up scoring chances continually off the rush, and it just didn't happen tonight. I know the third period, but those are all in the defensive zone. So I thought they were great off the rush. Might be one of their best games that they defended the rush. And the quick transition off Dallas's turnovers, I don't know if the Coyotes had a whole lot of rush chances there going their way, but they definitely won the battle between the blue lines. It was definitely to the Coyotes' favor between the blue lines today. So, yeah, I think they accomplished what they needed to accomplish to win. And usually what we say by now, when they've won 3-1, is you say, oh my gosh, the goaltender made 52 saves and they stole another one. But I don't think that's the case today.
It's not the case.
Good things. They did a lot of good things today.
That's not the case. Let's a little late for this, but let's pull up the numbers, because the shots on goal, 33-27, honestly not super lopsided, and the majority of those Dallas shots came in that third period. And again, Coyotes productive on the power play, didn't allow any power play goals by Dallas either. So good looking by the numbers today.
Yeah, it's funny when you talk about the shots and you go through 2. It's 22-16, and they were doing really, really well. The faceoffs, I looked at the faceoffs tonight, and there's a couple of glaring ones. Galchenyuk was 1-5 until his last draw, and he won a second faceoff, so he won 2 faceoffs. I think Barrett Hayton's maybe still troubled with his injured hand. He wins 3, loses 9. You'd like to see around 50%. He was 25%. You got to get those numbers up. The higher face-off percentage, the more times you start with the puck. So it's pretty obvious that you want to start with the puck more often.
Yeah.
And Caleb said it right. We were talking about immigration, how long it took Lyubushkin to get here in preseason with COVID and coming in from Russia. So I'm curious to see how quickly he gets into Toronto. Sorry. And can we talk about that?
We can.
Okay. I'll wait.
We can.
No, I'll wait.
We'll get there in 2 minutes.
I'm sorry.
But the person who, so it's clear who lost their bet tonight. He's in our chat.
The Deef and Lock did not come through today. Whoopsie.
Yeah, but I think he's still doing okay in his bets tonight. On the DraftKings Sportsbook app, I believe the NBA All-Star Game is happening as we speak, so we'll have to see if Sean's DraftKings pick of the week comes through. But if you want to get in on the betting action, you can do so on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Sign up using that promo code PHNX, but $1 on any NBA team and get $150 in free bets if they win. Existing customers can bet on the NBA with same-game parlays. You can combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. There's literally so much that you can bet on DraftKings, like so many obscure things. So be sure to check it out. We've seen some interesting tides turning in the NHL with certain teams. So I feel like betting on hockey is very unpredictable, but in the sense that you have to keep track of what's going on around the team rather than like the players themselves, if that makes sense. So check out this DraftKings Sportsbook app. Bet $1 on any NBA team when you sign up using the promo code PHNX. Get $150 in free bets if the team you bet on wins. That's 21 and over, Arizona only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. All right, let's talk about what you want to talk about.
No, the
way I said that is that I don't want to talk about it, but that's not true.
I get
like it. Your turn to transition the conversation.
No, we got to see Shane's bets. He must have just put his whole bet thing up there. Like he lost. Sorry, Shane. But we talked about the trade yesterday, and Ryan Dzingel gets traded yesterday to Toronto Maple Leafs, and in the morning you wake up and find out he's on waivers. Wow. So now what? So do I think someone puts in a claim for him, or will he end up playing for the Marlies in the American League? I wouldn't be surprised if someone puts a claim on him. Like he's only just over $1 million. There's less than half of the season left, so you don't have much cash to pay out. Not much of a cap hit. Can provide a little bit of offense, some speed, and some energy. So we'll see. See, look at all the updates because Lyubushkin, he doesn't have to cross the border. See, I should have looked at their schedule. So he's staying in the States. Might not be able to get to Canada, but he can get there. But so I don't know what happens to Dzingel. I don't even know if he leaves here. I don't know where he goes. Like, do you jump on a plane and fly to Toronto, or why would you bother? Because if you get picked up tonight by Ottawa, you're going somewhere else, or Buffalo, or it's that's so hard. Not only you're leaving the team you've been with all season, you literally have no idea where you're going tomorrow. And it's funny that comment, Yotes go get him. They could. Like, the Coyotes could claim him off of
chaos.
Waivers. It would be absolute chaos. They claim him off waivers. And so it goes back to the point when we talked about the trade last night. What was the purpose of this trade? The purpose of this trade, and you can talk about Lyubushkin, but the money they wanted to make equal going out the door and coming in the door. This was about a draft pick.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of people on Twitter saying, why didn't the Coyotes just claim Richie off waivers in January? Well, that's the Coyotes they need the draft picks more than they need Richie is the bottom line. So they were able to help out Toronto and in return get the draft pick and which their choice. And then also get Richie. So it kind of worked out. And it is a bummer to see Lyubushkin and Dzingel go. I think Lyubushkin, especially for Coyotes fans, felt an emotional connection to him, but it's just the reality of the rebuild, unfortunately.
Yeah, and he probably wasn't going to get re-signed this summer anyway. So it's either now or later, and you get the draft pick out of it. So you're able to stock the cupboards a little bit more. I'm curious to see what they do with Richie too, because there is the opportunity for the team to buy him out. I doubt they do that because they still need 12 forwards to play, and they only have 3 under contract. So you like to think that he would be able to play. He's an NHL player. Like he fits kind of what they were doing this year. That he works hard. He's a bigger body, can get to the net, provide some secondary scoring. So I think he's a guy that might be able to fit into the roster next year. We'll have to wait and see what the plan is with him too. It's so much wait and see what the plan for all these players are, because it's nice to have all these draft picks. This is great. I mean, this is what Bill Armstrong's been trying to do, but at some point you need 20 players to get on the ice and play. And what brought one more player that we don't know what's happening with.
Another player that we woke up to on waivers, Carter Hutton. So that kind of surprised me a little.
Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on there. My guess is tomorrow he's going to be assigned to Tucson. He's not going to get claimed. He hasn't played. We don't know where exactly he's at with his injury process. I know he's working very hard to get back on the ice. And it might be just a matter of getting him down to Tucson and getting him to play some games. I don't know if he's ready to play right now, though. So put him on waivers, clear the cap space, get him down to the minors. And I expect him to get assigned to Tucson at some point tomorrow. But as always, stay tuned for Craig Morgan to give you the updates at PHNX.com, because whatever happens to Carter Hutton,
at
Craig first.
At Craig S. Morgan will have all of the news. This comment from Tyler, DNVR subscriber here. Great to see the Coyotes get a win. Even if you're on Tank Watch, I'm always pulling for you guys. Thank you, Tyler.
Thanks, Tyler.
We appreciate
I wonder if he's
that.
at the DNVR bar. I wonder. I'm going to go there. They had a new film come out. They have a new photojournalist. I don't know what his actual title is, but it's really cool, the shit that he's doing on DNVR. I want a bar. I want to have the PHNX bar. Get on that. Don't you have the poll? Get that done.
Oh, man.
Can we go around the league?
Yes. Well, a couple things, because you talked about Hutton possibly getting assigned to Tucson, and Tucson unfortunately lost tonight 4-1 against Henderson. But Michelli did have a goal for them tonight. And their next game is this weekend against Ontario.
You're kidding.
And guess who will be there? That's right. And you ready for this? Here we go.
I am. Is this it? There it is. Oh, look at that.
Look at that graphic. Yeah, how come you get to be in the middle?
I got to be the center. Well, you need strong presence up the middle.
So
I was wondering that.
Am I the right wing or the left wing?
You're the right wing because it's coming at us.
That's good, because you know that I shoot I am a right shot.
There you go. So you're a right shot on the right side.
It's perfect.
So we're heading down.
Yep,
for real.
We will be in at Tucson this coming Saturday, February 26th, at the Tucson Roadrunners game. So if you live in the greater Phoenix area, consider making the road trip down for that game. If you live in Tucson, we're coming. We'll be around the arena, chatting with fans, chatting with players, chatting with coaches. We're going to do a live post-game show from the TCC, my old stomping grounds from working at the Roadrunners and for U of A hockey. So I am thrilled to be going to Tucson.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. And it's great because you see Michelli gets another goal. He's still one of the top scorers in the American League. And I'm so excited to see him play in person. We saw a little taste of him in preseason, but that's not the same when they're playing for real. So playing the Ontario Reign, the LA Kings minor league team should be a great contest. And I know, like I said, Leah knows they are a very rabid fan base for their local Tucson Roadrunners. I know Leah knows some of them personally, so I hope we get some one-on-one interviews with Leah. Do you know the people that ring the cowbells? Do you know those people?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you have to go over there.
Yep, it's
right by the backup goalie.
They're quite something. So that's Tucson. But yes, let's go around the NHL because, first of all, big news, which thank goodness this happened because the tank would really be threatened. But Montreal won tonight, their first time winning consecutive games this season, and kind of a storybook for their goalie tonight.
Yeah, maybe it's Martin St. Louis. Is it Martin St. Louis? No.
What?
That's getting them to turn around. Is that why they're turning it around? Because of the coach?
Maybe.
I don't know.
We predicted a little coach boost.
What happened with the goalie?
He hadn't played in 145 days.
Oh, the Hamburglar.
Yeah,
he picked him up from Minnesota. Good for him. Really good for him. Because remember that playoff run he had back in Ottawa? But geez, that's a long time ago when he was when he got the name the Hamburglar and people throwing hamburgers on the ice. Any recollection, Leah? No?
Yes.
Okay, so then he gets Minnesota had him, and Minnesota needed him. They had injuries. He was on the they called him up. He didn't actually get an opportunity to play, and they sent him back down to Iowa. And I know Montreal was desperate for goaltending, just desperate for goaltending. And maybe this works out. Maybe it's it's one of those marriages that comes together out of need and it works. I hope so. It's a good story. And honestly, whatever the Montreal Canadiens need to do to get some wins under their belt, we're all for it.
We'll take it.
Yeah, a lot of support for the Hamburglar.
Yes.
Out here in Arizona.
Also on Tank Watch, Ottawa and Buffalo lost tonight. And I know Edmonton isn't in the tank mix, but they kind of had their new coach boost. And tonight, not looking so good. What's going
not
on
so
in
much.
that game?
Well, here's what we talked about. Vancouver gets 8 wins straight with Bruce Boudreau, and you're like, oh my God, they might make the playoffs. Guess what? They're not. Edmonton gets Jay Woodcroft behind the bench. They win 4 straight, and you go, oh my goodness, here's Edmonton's push. But what I said on last week's show, they can change the coach, but you still have the same goaltending and you still have the same defense. Mike Smith gave up 4 goals on 7 shots in 10 minutes, and the game was over. And now they're behind 7-2 in the third. They're actually out shooting the Minnesota Wild 31-20, but they're losing 7-2. So again, you get that bump from the coach, but it doesn't last forever, man. It just doesn't last forever. You get that bump and you are who you are. And this is who the Edmonton Oilers are right now. They're a team that if they don't get good goaltending, they cannot win. I don't know where they end up in the playoff spot right now. Like, they'll have to address goaltending at the trade deadline. They cannot go in with this tandem if they expect to make the playoffs or at least out of the first round. They have to improve at the back end. I don't know. In Montreal, you say the same thing with their coach now. He's got 2 in a row. Is that an aberration? I guess maybe.
I
we'll
want
see.
Montreal to win 8 games in a row.
Would that be outstanding? And you know what? They might. They just might.
I want them to.
It's that goaltender can do it, and that's where it can happen. If a goaltender gets hot, and Hammond does not have the ability to be an everyday goalie in the NHL. Otherwise, he would be one. But you can come on and you can play 8, 10, 12 and get hot and give them a little bit of a boost. So let's hope that happens. And you know what? The more they win, the better we can feel about winning.
Exactly. And that's why everything about this win tonight, it felt like the Coyotes deserved it. Montreal won, so you don't feel quite as bad that the Coyotes won. I don't know. I just enjoyed this one, honestly.
Yeah, this was good. There's so many positives. I just want to see them at one point play 60 minutes. That's what I really want to see.
They may. Well,
they may.
They would have to do it before the trade deadline, probably.
I know. Yeah, don't say that. It's 4 weeks and a couple of days, I think, from the trade deadline.
Yeah, last night was. It's actually it's the 21st. It's just like about a month away. 21st.
Did you see what was going on in San Jose tonight?
No.
Did Jack Eichel?
Oh,
Jack
Eichel scored his not just first, but his first 2 goals.
Goals.
Not only with Vegas, but just first 2 goals in over a year.
Yeah.
And actually, that's a tease because later this week on one of our audio episodes around the NHL, we're going to have Jesse Granger on our show to talk a little bit more about Vegas and what's going on with them. So we'll get some more insight to the issues Vegas has been having, but also into Jack Eichel. So looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what his response is going to be on how he thinks they're going to juggle the salary cap and get all these players back and able to play, or they expect to get some guys and bodies out of there by the trade deadline. So I'm excited to have him in before the big Vegas Golden Knight matchup on Friday. And you know what? It's a winnable game. And I know people, the Vegas Golden Knights think that, they were going to win the Pacific running away and they're the team to beat. I don't know if that's the team that they are right now, with the injuries they've had and the goaltending struggles that they've had. Calgary Flames right now are ahead of the Pacific, and I don't know. They don't look like they're going backwards. They got Toffoli there now in Calgary. So we'll see what happens in Vegas. So I'm looking forward to the update from them, and I really want to see how the Coyotes can compete against a Vegas team because they've played this Vegas team tough over the years, and it's the rivalry in the desert. So I'm looking forward to it on Friday.
The duel of the desert. So we'll see how that one goes this week. Craig is not joining us tonight. He actually took the night off, is with his family tonight. So it's just me and Petey, but wow, Shane's being rude to you in the comments. Well, Petey looks good in blue. Psych.
Shane, go to bed. It's Sunday night. Go.
It's 8:00. That's your bedtime.
Then go out. He's in his 20s. Go out. Tell mom you're borrowing the car. See if she'll let you borrow her keys and go out.
Right. Anyway, back to what I was saying before I got distracted. That's my fault. So Greg's not joining us tonight, but Craig is always putting out incredible stories on gophnx.com. So you can read those by becoming a member at gophnx.com. Sign up for a year membership, get a shirt when you do. And The shirts are. Where's your shirt? You always wear a shirt. Is it under that?
It's on. Yeah, I got my
Okay,
PHNX
good.
on.
You always have a
I
PHNX
know.
shirt on, so I do
Always.
appreciate that. So check out the PHNX merchandise locker as well. There's some incredible shirts in there, not just for Coyotes, but all the teams. Suns are hot. Suns have an amazing shirt. Bummer that Chris Paul, it seems to be out for a little bit here, but
The Emergipod.
I'd rather have Chris Paul out now than later. Anyway, this is not the Suns show, but go watch their show. They did address that injury tonight. So after this, you can go over to the PHNX Sports YouTube and watch their address of that injury. Petey, any final thoughts from this game or news around the NHL or anything?
I do want one more thing, because you were talking about joining in on the PHNX basketball show, which you should go watch and get all that update. But I might have to ask some of our younger listeners / viewers to watch the PHNX ASU show, the Sun Devil show, and take notes for me on what some of the language is and means. Because
what do you mean?
I literally am going to need an interpreter.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. I have to go back to the reference about smoke. It's about smoke. They were going to smoke Bobby. I don't know if they're doing a smoking Bobby Hurley. I didn't get it. I don't get it. It was sus, but I'm not sure what that means either. But so I'm gonna have to. Oh, see, well, that makes sense. There's suspect. We'll say the whole goddamn word then. It's a show. We don't get paid to like shorten shit. We're supposed to talk. Say suspect. Don't say sus. So I need interpreters to watch the ASU show. It's a great show. They have a lot of fun, but I just don't get it. Sorry, Deef.
There was your PD rant of the night.
Yeah. No, it was good. So to recap this game, it was 40 minutes of really solid hockey, best defending they've had in a long time, defended the rush and the net front as well as they have, and they were able to get through an onslaught by a team that's pushing for the playoffs in that last 20 and come away with a win. It's a good win. That's 13. Let's go for
Lucky
14
13.
on Wednesday. Let's beat LA. Can we beat LA?
I know. It just feels, as Arizona, you just have to beat LA. I hate. I just hate LA.
There's enough tank time. Just beat LA. You know, with the Dustin Brown and Kopitar, all those guys that we saw in 2012, just beat LA, and then we'll worry about the tank later. We'll have plenty of time to deal with that when the time comes when they go back.
Exactly. We said it that this team needs to get wins. It's so dejecting to make it through with so few wins, and I think this is a good time to pull up the punch card.
Oh, I cannot wait. Oh, look at that, another red dot.
Look, another orange one.
See, I think when somebody said, and I don't remember, we have to win game 56. We need a Connect 4.
Oh, for a Connect 4.
Yeah,
okay.
we got to start looking at a Connect 4. So there has to be some more wins in there somewhere. We'll keep working on it.
See, here's sus using a sentence. Petey saying he's wearing pants is sus.
See, there you go. Please use it in a sentence. No, I got it. See, these kids today.
Man. All right, one more. I just have one more thing before we go, because there was a question in the chat earlier that I starred because I just wanted to. This could be like our closing topic, but which former Coyote has the best chance at a cup? Darcy Kemper?
Right now, it's got to be the guy that we said was the best chance to win the Vezina. It's got to be Darcy Kemper, because you go to the teams that are on the top. But Anthony Duclair in Florida.
Oh, I forgot about that.
You've got Martinook and Ranta and D'Angelo in Tony D in Carolina. They've got a really good hockey team. Kemper in the West. I don't know Bunting. Bunting's an outside shot in the East. I would say Connor Garland and probably not so much this year.
Well, we'll see where Connor Garland ends up. Possibly.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe it goes to Boston. Maybe it goes to Boston and gets them over the hump. But it's interesting that there are going to be plenty of old Yotes to root for come the playoffs. And I think there are some great matchups. And I don't know if people watch hockey other than the Coyotes, but there are some really, really good hockey teams playing right now. Carolina Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers are unbelievably fun teams to watch. So if you get a chance, make sure you're tuning into some of these other teams. It's great to see the Coyotes win tonight, but there are some good hockey being played right now all around the league.
Definitely.
That was a good question, by the way.
It is a good question.
Might need some more research.
Yeah, Michael, thank you for that question. And we'll pose that question tomorrow on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes. So you can respond on there. We'll pop it in the Discord as well. If you're a member, you also get access to our members only Discord that Petey and Craig and I are in, or one of us at least is in there daily. So join us there and answer us on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes. We're trying to get Petey to do a TikTok dance. Follow PHNX Sports on TikTok.
That's sus.
Lots of good stuff on there. That's sus.
That's so sus.
But I think that if any video is going to beat the TikTok that I'm in that has like, I don't know, 310,000 views or something like that.
No, it won't be mine. Come on. 10. 10 views. It'll be just the guys from The Office.
Yeah.
Slapping. It'll be slapping.
Well,
can I say slapping? Is that a thing?
Yeah. Look at Petey learning the lingo.
It
I love
slaps.
it. Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, follow PHNX_Coyotes on Twitter and follow PHNX Sports across all social platforms. We're going to have a couple of days off here at the beginning of the week. We'll be back Wednesday night for that late night post-game show for that 8:00 game against LA on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. We'll have the audio episode with Jesse Granger on Thursday, post-game Friday, Tucson Saturday. Big week ahead. We're
and
excited.
A game on Sunday.
And a game on Sunday. So just a lot going on. The road to the trade deadline is here, and it's going to be there's some fun stuff in there. So
yeah, it's going to be a good week. There's a lot going on this week. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep. And again, a plug, if you haven't checked out the French Bulldog episode, go back and watch that. Do not listen to that one. Watch it.
Do not listen.
And then also our prospect reports from last week as well. Those are timeless. So check those out wherever you get your podcast. Like, subscribe, leave us a review. It's super helpful. And I think that's it from us. And we'll see everyone back on Wednesday, and have a great week, everyone.